JD Vance was on with Dana Bash, who asked JD if he was willing to admit that the Haitian frenzy he started had no basis with evidence.
Dana, the evidence is the first-hand account of my constituents who are telling me that this happened. And by the way, I've been trying to talk about the problems in Springfield for months, and the American media ignored it.
His evidence is first-hand reports from constituents, but nothing has been released or investigated by Ohio law enforcement, which means it doesn't exist.
The media totally ignored this stuff until Donald Trump and I started talking about cat memes. If I have to, create stories so that the American media actually pays attention to the suffering of the American people, then that's what I'm going to do, Dana, because you guys are completely letting Kamala Harris coast.
It's not the media's job to investigate. That is the responsibility of law enforcement. We don't have the tools or the authority to investigate in the press. Law enforcement does. His office could have referred those first-hand reports to law enforcement if they existed. But there is a bigger revelation here.
Which is why a lot of Americans can't afford food and housing.
You just said that you're creating a story.
Public policy.
Awkward.
Sir, you just said that you're creating the story.
What's that, Dana?
Oh, he's gonna play like he didn't hear her. That's an excellent deflection tactic for a toddler.
You just said that this is a story that you created. So then the eating dogs and cats thing is not.
Dana, it comes from first-hand accounts from my constituents. I say that we're creating a story, meaning we're creating the American media focusing on it.
Oh, you're creating a story, meaning creating the American media to focus on it, which is the same thing. Whether he created a lie about Haitians or created a lie to get the media focused on it, it's still a lie. Yale should have taught him that. And ethics.
I didn't create 20,000 illegal migrants coming into Springfield thanks to Kamala Harris's policies. Her policies did that, but yes, we created the actual focus that allowed the American media to talk about this story.
The convict felon and JD are vile scumbags with low character that needs to manipulate the media to put targets on the back of legal Haitian immigrants who were brought in to revive the dying town of Springfield, which is now thriving because of them. The actions of JD and the convicted felon are an attack on an American town.
What we have said is that this town has suffered terribly under the policies of Kamala Harris.
No, JD and Trump didn't say that. They said that the town's resources are strained because of Haitian immigrants who are eating pets. Haitians aren't eating pets due to policies.
Now, you just accused me of inciting violence against the community when all that I've done is surface the complaints of my constituents, people who are suffering because of Kamala Harris's policies.
His response is an example of toxicity. The tactic he is using is called gaslighting, which is used as a defense tool by insecure, malignant narcissists who don't have the temperament to serve our country or our people. Obviously, he didn't surface a problem. He targeted Haitians. That is an undeniable fact.
Are we not allowed to talk about these problems because some psychopaths are threatening violence? We can condemn the violence on the one hand, but also talk about the terrible consequences of Kamala Harris's open border on the other hand.
Well, I do agree that we should not hold back issues because of the fear of violence from psychopaths, but that's not the case here. He's the psychopath who started the violence against the Haitians by calling out what they eat. Here's the thing. If JD Vance came out and said, I approached this entire thing inappropriately, I'm sorry, I will stick to the issues from here on out, then this whole thing would go away. But they don't want it to go away. This entire story is a deflection tactic so that the press and people like me will be busy focusing on this while the real damage is being done over here. I can prove it with one question. When is Letitia James going to start taking the convict felon's assets to pay for his fraud? Haitians eating pets is much more sensational.